Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. We ask you to subscribe, and then subscribe again. And then after you do that, you go over there and you review and give us that 5-star review, my friends. You can do it on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And welcome. Hey, I remember the big 89, WLS Chicago, because welcome to episode 89.
What? WLS Chicago 89, as in 890 AM, right?
Right.
No?
Okay. I'm talking about back when I was a kid, where
way back
everybody listened to AM radio.
Yes.
And then this thing called FM radio came along, and then it seemed to be like all beautiful music or all soft, all beautiful. And then all of a sudden the rock and roll people said, hey, this is stereo. More people have FM than have AM, or just as many. Let's crank out the rock, and well, the rest is radio history.
Rest is radio history. Yes. What was the one? There was a giant AM that we used to listen to in high school up in Cleveland, out of Detroit. I'll have to think of that, because that was another one of those, screen. What do they call it? Flamethrower. AM radio station, where it was just screaming and rock and top 40. Not the It was awesome. And WL, I remember that. All right, now you're going to make me think about this, and that's the last thing I want to do on a Monday morning is think. So, all right, so I'm good. So we do have, as I told you before we started, that today is not only lawn maintenance day, but it's hedge trimming day here at Gainesville. So if you hear a little something in the back, although you told me in the past that it hasn't made a difference. So because I hear them coming again. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and it's all good. So how are you? How are you, Mr. Beadham?
We must have different mics, because you never hear the stuff that goes on usually around me, and I never hear the stuff that usually goes on around you. But maybe we're just old and deaf. One of the two, but maybe like if any young whippersnappers listen to the podcast, what's Mama doing in the background? Why is that dog barking in the background? I don't hear nothing.
You're probably right. We're going deaf and we just don't hear it. Now, I do hear it live as it happens out on the front porch, but then when I listen back to the recording, not so much. So I don't know. I'm going to trust in our high-tech microphones that are doing the job they're supposed to do for us. So that's okay. All right. So you were showing off your bandage before we started recording here again. They've been cutting on him again, folks. The man is he's like Swiss cheese.
And then I got to get in. I'm like, I know that, skin cancer can be bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long it takes to be bad. I'm getting to the point. Am I old enough? Maybe I should just let it go bad, because they cut on my arm and my hand, and it's just a black and blue mess. And I did it like tomorrow will be a week.
Right. Then
I go back next week and have the stitches taken out. And then they cut on another part of my body, and it'll be just like this. I don't know. It's never ending, but that's part of being a transplant patient, because your immune system, you have nothing to, all these little, the dermatologist said, you probably got these as a kid when you were out in the sun. Because nowadays, when I go outside, people, I don't know what they think, but I've got my hoodie on. I've got all the long sleeves on.
Right.
When I drive, I wear gloves, and I still get these damn things.
It depends on what part of the science you trust nowadays. They all say trust the science. And yours truly, of course, has done a little bit of research, not a lot, on nutrition and eating right and losing weight. And one of the things that I have heard, now I'm not saying this is a fact, so I am not a doctor. I do not play one on television. This is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor, as they always say. But having given that excuse, A lot of these nutritional people are saying it's the seed oils that we are eating. Like when every time you have a French fry that's cooked in canola oil or sunflower oil or some other seed oil, that basically is turning your skin into like this stuff that just when the sunlight hits it, it's like frying you. And so I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your own doctor. But okay, I just threw that out there just to confuse people even more today. So there you go.
Well, speaking of as many French fries as I've probably eaten in my life,
yes,
and I'm probably getting fried then.
and I totally understand that. I do. I had some friends. Actually, our friend Vicki Wagner and her husband Rick were driving. They had gone to Naples last week to visit grandkids and his mother, who is very elderly and in a nursing home. Anyway, we're driving home yesterday and stopped here in Gainesville because it's a good guess and pit stop and all that. So we had lunch yesterday, which is why I was sitting out on the patio in my not regular chair, and I think that's what might have got me. But anyway, to add to that, we went over to Publix and got a few subs and some potato chips, and I was eating all kinds of things that I have been trying to avoid. No judgment. I'm just saying I'm trying to be a good, carnivore. And so I'm wondering if that's what contributed to part of my tummy ache this morning. So yeah, I think today might be a complete fasting day. There may be no food today other than this tea that I'm drinking here. It just might let it go through me.
Another thing, when you talk about eating,
yes,
I told you I was on Jeff Edwards' new podcast called Gut Punched, which is all about, his wife has Alzheimer's now,
yes,
and how he's dealing with it, and things he's learning along the way, in their adventure. And he said that he has, done a lot of research now on Alzheimer's, and they're saying a lot of Alzheimer's has to do with the food that we've put into our stomachs over the years and years and years, has kind of, depleted our, I don't completely understand it.
Right.
But that has a lot to do the more they study, the more our diets has to do with Alzheimer's.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll go the next step to even say our diet is so important for either causing or preventing just about everything. Everything. And, when you said, your skin doctor, your dermatologist or whoever is telling you, oh, you probably got it when you were a little kid out in the sun. No, yours truly is going to respectfully but completely disagree with that. I think it's what we eat over the years that damages our gut biome. That's the fancy word. Look it up. And yes, so yours truly is really making an effort to eat just real foods. As they say, the more ingredients on the box, the worse it is for you. If it's an apple, it's an apple. What's the ingredient? Apple. If you pick up a box of, I don't know, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but if you pick up a box of breakfast cereal in the aisle and you read the ingredients and you don't recognize 90% of them, that might be a thing. That might be an issue. I'm just saying. So again, am I perfect with it? Hell no. Am I trying to get better with it? Hell yes.
I think a lot of us, as we get older, are trying to get better with it. But
yes.
But I think we're so habit driven and so used to doing what we've done all of our lives. We go, man, look over there. Yep, I'm having that.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And yesterday was that day for me. Well, not like the only one. I have one of those about every 2 weeks, where it's like, it's a Friday night. Do I feel like cooking tonight? No, I'm calling Domino's or I'm, calling whoever. And so, yeah, I get it. And for me, food is, maybe I should talk to our hypnotherapist friend, Vicky, about that. Food for me is it's everything. It's my comfort food. It's when I'm nervous. It's when I'm excited. It's when I'm angry. It's food. The answer is food. What do you want? Yeah, something to eat.
I think a lot of people are that way, though.
I know, and I it's a challenging thing to change, to say, no, I'd rather be healthy.
But even as you are trying to do this carnivore diet, and not to put down a carnivore diet, because I'm neither a doctor or anything, but also the things they're actually putting in our cattle and our chickens and our pigs and everything else.
Yep.
Is,
it's not great.
You're I know. Right. So,
great.
We've all done this to ourselves.
Yes, that's the bottom line. We have done this to ourselves in the interest. Well, if you're a food company, you've done this to people in the interest of making money. Always.
And saving money.
Follow the money. Well, saving money is making money. A penny saved is a penny earned, Ben Franklin. So yes, it is. And I don't see a lot of changing for that. I don't see that changing in this country. Like if you go to Europe, you can find the same product, not same. You can find products like if you go to an American grocery store, you go to a European grocery store, same products. You read the ingredients, totally different. If you go into a McDonald's in Gainesville and you go into a McDonald's in Berlin and you look at the nutritional label of what's in it and how it's made, totally different.
Well, there are things overseas that, our government allows us to eat that other governments won't allow their citizens to eat.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting, but cute.
I read, just to finish this, I read an interesting article over the weekend, Time Magazine, on how when the company that makes Ozempic, which is used for weight loss, along with other things, got approval from all kinds of countries over the world, they thought, we're going to make a fortune with this. And they went into Japan and they sold 0 Ozempic in Japan, because in Japan, people are not overweight. They just aren't. And some reporter went over there and he kind of like, okay, why? And they went to the schools with the little kids, and the meals that the little kids eat are better than what you and I are eating in a good restaurant. And they have to every school by law must have a nutritionist that puts together healthy, fresh, local food for the kids. And then the first thing she does before lunch, or she, in this case, it was a she, it might be a he. The first thing the school nutritionist does every day is prepares one meal and walks it to the school principal, and the school principal eats it first and says, yes, we can feed this to the kids. And just things that we wouldn't even think of in this country. It's like, just slop it out to the kids and, whatever. So yeah, it's, to me, I just don't want to go out on a rant here, but it's obvious that, things are different out there in the world, and we think we're so cool here in America. Yeah, not so much with everything. No. So anyway.
You know what? Are they hedging out there?
Oh yeah, you can hear my hedging going on. That's
the first time that we've ever done a podcast where I've actually heard them working out there, where I've actually heard the sound.
Right, and thankfully, so what they did was they've been hedging. So this was the guy that follows behind them with the leaf blower. Oh, here he comes with the leaf blower, and he blew off my patio, which is literally 15 feet away from where you and I are recording here. So I'll try and keep it down, or I'll try and use the mute button a little bit to keep the sound down for the next few seconds. But I actually think he's done already. I think he's walking over to next door already.
I don't know, but I felt good there for a second because I actually thought my hearing was improving because I was hearing it.
I can hear it. I can hear the leaf blower. Yay!
As you see, I have my phone out here.
You do, yes.
And I want to read a text. Not really a text. It was a Facebook, I guess, messenger.
Okay.
It was a Facebook messenger I got. So I want to read this to you.
I'm listening.
I think you guys should come to Fort Myers and do a podcast from here at Mel's. I'm back in Fort Myers. That was from Manager Bill.
Unbelievable that he is still alive. He's great. He wasn't that much. Was he that much older than us? Or
I don't think he was. I I think he's right around our age.
Yeah. I actually thought he was a little bit older when I knew him, but that he might have just looked that from working his 80-hour weeks at Mel's. I can't believe. Well, I mean, super cool that you heard from Manager Bill. That is so cool. B, it would be kind of difficult to do a podcast at Mel's. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult. The travel would be the hard part.
Yeah, that would be the hardest part.
That'd be a bit of a drive.
I told him if I can get you there and we can do it, not only will I do, our podcast, the BJ and Bill, the podcast, I will do Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast. And I'll do them both in the same morning and have some guests come in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you've got because you have a lot of friends. I mean, in that realm, in the organ transplant business there in Fort Myers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean that's where the journey started for you. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
I told him we would, see what our schedules were and if we could get there at the same time. Which I think in a way, I think it would probably be neat because I don't know if they still have that marquee out or not. They used to have in front of the Mel's in Fort Myers there on 41.
Yes.
A lot of times it would say, hey, BJ and Bill, they're here this Friday or whatever.
Sometimes it just said BJ and Bill eat here. And I have a picture to prove that. I actually have a photograph on paper taken by an old camera. No iPhones in those days, kids. So yeah.
You need to put that up on the website. I mean, on the Facebook page.
That's a great idea. That is I wonder if I have it because there was a time when I was going through tons and tons of old pictures that I scanned hundreds of them and then just saved them to the cloud so that they would be saved. And now that's a great idea. I wonder, let's see, Google Photos. But thank you for that. I'm writing that down and we'll look at it. I'm writing down BJ and Bill photo Mel's.
Yeah, we'll get that up on the Facebook page, which you can go to BJ and Bill, the podcast, anytime you like on Facebook and find us, answer our daily question we usually put out there.
Yep.
Comment, tell us you listen to the show, do whatever you want to.
There you go.
We just like to hear from you.
Yes, we do. So there you go.
Just like we heard from Manager Bill. And like I said, if we could make it happen, I think that would be fun. And of course, we might think, hey, BJ and Bill's coming back to town. And we go and we'd be sitting at a table doing our podcast and no one would be around us listening. But you can think of the other way. When we used to go to Mel's Diner and did our radio show, they could pack the place out.
Mm-hmm.
But that was 20 years ago.
How many?
20, 22 years ago?
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it just 20 years is starting to feel like not long enough, which is crazy. I know. But yeah, I hear you.
Moving on to another topic, which I just can't believe this.
I'm ready.
Taylor Swift, has been doing 4 shows in Paris.
Okay. Somehow I missed that.
She has been.
Okay.
Now, explain this to me. I don't know. I know ticket prices were high, and I know people were paying thousands of dollars to go see Taylor Swift in concert.
Yes.
But they're saying that people were flying to Paris to see the Eras Tour with Taylor Swift, and it was cheaper than a lot of folks paid here in the United States. That's why they were flying to Paris to see Taylor Swift.
My theory on that is that it's probably a currency exchange thing. That you can probably that if a ticket to Taylor Swift in Dallas is $1,000 and a ticket to Taylor Swift in Paris is 1,000 euros, the exchange rate might really help.
Okay.
Alexa, how much is a euro worth in US dollars?
Did it tell you? I'm not hearing her.
Well, actually, it's really close right now. Okay, so it's really close.
I don't know if we could. I don't know if they have a ticket master in Paris.
Maybe that.
Or how we'd find out what ticket prices were.
Right.
But they said people were flying. A lot of Americans were flying to Paris for this concert because it was actually cheaper than seeing it here in the United States. And listen to this fact:
I'm listening.
Taylor Swift should run for president. Not that I would be excited about it,
No,
but listen
she
to
could do
this.
it. Yes.
Taylor Swift may have drawn more Americans to France than the upcoming Olympics will.
She is a force of nature, as they say. And again, I have no desire. You know what? I would go to a Taylor Swift concert just to see the event. You know what I mean? I probably would recognize 2 of her songs, if that. I know you would recognize more, but I would probably recognize a tiny handful of her songs. But just to see the spectacle of the show, I think would be interesting. Now, am I going to pay thousands of dollars? Hell no. But it's a cool idea.
I recognize many from her country days because she was in country for a long time.
Right.
I don't remember as many of her pop songs. I know a few of her pop songs, but mostly it was when she was in the country genre that I remember. But, you know, let's just say you are a little interested. I've heard you say before that you have the Disney Channel.
I do.
You can get the Eras concert on the Disney Channel. I hate to admit it, but I will. I and the wife have sat on the couch one day and we watched the Eras tour via the Disney Channel.
And plan on it being like the whole night, right? Because it's like 3 hours plus.
I like looked over. I go, how long is this damn show?
Right.
And then I immediately texted my grandchildren's mama and said, "Hey, when you went to see Taylor Swift, how long was the show? Was it like 4 hours?" And she said, "Yes, it was."
Wow.
So at least when you go see Taylor Swift, you get a long show.
You get your money's worth. Well,
yeah. Well, I don't know if you get your money's worth. Yeah. You get a lot of, you get a lot of show for the money you spend.
There you go. There you go. I imagine somebody in Las Vegas is on the phone with her agent saying, "What's it going to take to get you to the Sphere for a year or 6 months, you know, a residency?" Because that would pack every night at whatever price you set, whatever you want to charge, people would pay, I think.
And you know what, I think it's getting that way now because Vegas in the older days used to be an older crowd, but now I think it's a much younger crowd.
The Sphere opened with U2 for a month.
Yeah.
And, although I do remember seeing some stories about young kids saying, "Boy, who are these old guys?" So, but all right, I get it. Fine. Thanks. Great. I'm old. I recognize that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure, you know, that they would. I'm sure it would pack. It would pack every night. Guaranteed. So
she's probably wanting to wait a little bit longer so she can continue to make this giant tour money.
Oh my God. I thought it was over. I thought it just keeps going in stages and more stages, right?
Yeah, they're going to now they're all doing they're doing the, you know, the whatever, I guess, you know, the European tour now.
Is Travis going with her?
He said he would show up for a show or two, but he's now in the process of making a movie.
Oh God.
You know, what is it with the, you know, I need a super couple. Man, alive, you know, they make movies, they play football, they make music, they do it all.
They do it
and
all.
And there's little rats like me that, you know, like would beg for a $150 comedy gig at a comedy club.
We were talking last week a little bit about the Tom Brady roast on Netflix. And more than one person on Twitter was asking Tom, you know, Tom, how can you let yourself be put through this? I mean, basically, comedians ripping him for all of his private life, you know, from his money to his divorce to his everything. Tom, how can you let that happen? And all he did was wrote back and said, $25 million.
Okay.
Ask anybody, they'll say yes to.
I've never liked these roasts, you know, because I've had, you know, like sometimes comedy clubs will take a comic, say, okay, we're going to do a roast. Let's roast such and such. And I've even said, they've asked me, would you like to be roast? I know. I don't want to sit there for an hour and have, especially, local comedians, not national, like just put me down and say mean things about me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But now for how many million?
$25 million.
$25 million. I would let Joe Schmo off the street say anything bad about me he wanted to, and I would sit there and I would laugh at every joke.
Anything, $25 million. Well, there you go. Everybody has their price. Ours is $25 million. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Well, I'm going to continue in the music vein because this is kind of being a big thing.
Okay.
Although I'm thinking you'll know the name, but you're not a fan.
Try me.
Randy Travis.
Randy Travis. You're right. I absolutely know the name.
He, big country star, had hits.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had a stroke and he's had some medical issues and
right.
He can barely stand and talk.
Right.
And it's hard for him. But they've done a Randy Travis AI album. And there are folks that are excited about it because it's Randy Travis. I mean, it's his. Mm-hmm. It's not him, but it's his voice.
It's indistinguishable is the fancy word.
Yeah. And he's made an album and he sang with some famous people. And some of the world is saying this is the greatest thing ever. Here's this Randy Travis who can't make music anymore, and they're making music. And, he's up on, he's like in the interview, like smiling and nodding his head.
Right.
But, we know it's not, him singing live so some people are furious about it, saying this is going to kill the music industry. This is going to kill people that go out and perform, shows and make records.
Right.
But you got that auto tune that's been out for probably as long as BJ and Bill has been off the radio. That is just, a lot of big major artists use auto tune like it's their left hand.
What is that? Tell me more. I've heard that 100 times. What does that mean?
It basically, you can sing like BJ, right, and it'll come out in tune, right, with the music.
Right. Okay. So yeah, in other words, it's a way of modifying the voice track to whatever you want.
Yeah. So it's to make you sound like you hear the music and you're on key, even when you're off key.
That would be me, off key all the time.
Yep. That'd me too.
Yeah.
And there is some big time music people that have been using it for years.
Wow.
But now, AI is coming and because this AI stuff, it's unreal. It can write the song. It can play the song. It can sing the song now. And whosever voice you put into the machine.
Yep.
Can't wait to make my own album.
There are dozens. I know of a couple of good ones, accounts on Instagram and Twitter X that are AI. They're totally AI, but the pictures look like a real person. Of course, a pretty young girl. They all do, of course. It posts, it responds, it talks to people. Not human. Sorry. And like you said, we're all going to be out of business as humans. Never mind the job. We're all going to be out of business as humans. The machines can do it better.
Sad.
It's not good. It's not good.
Again, a reason why BJ and Bill are somewhat glad we are the age we are.
I could not agree more, my friend. I could not agree more. That it's just, I don't know what is going to happen to this, to the jobs, to people, to relationships. Are you talking on the phone? Are you talking to a human or an AI? I don't know.
And I'll tell you what a lot of people are doing nowadays with AI. A lot of jobs that could be going to the wayside pretty quick. Let's say you need a logo or you need, a graphic designer. All that can be done in seconds with AI.
Yep.
I even saw an app the other day, which but I'm thinking I'm not doing shows. I'm not interested in it. But I saw somebody who did it. They did a headshot, like when you go out and, work as a comedian or whatever, you send the club a headshot.
Right.
And sometimes, they put it up on the marquee when you come in and things like that. Headshots. A headshot of a young lady, which I think she's pretty. But when I saw her headshot, I'm like, wow, 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 wow.
Uh-huh. Not her.
Well, it was.
Right.
And you could see by the features
right.
that it was.
Right.
But it was like, I
what's the word? Better. The word is better than reality.
Yes.
Right. And pretty soon, better than reality is going to have all of us poor humans going, well, why bother? Why? I don't need to brush my teeth today. I don't need to shave my face today for you guys. I don't need to comb my hair, which I didn't this morning. You know, if I need to go out and if I need to have a picture online for the podcast, I can just put up something from AI and it'll look great.
Hey, maybe we should do that.
We could do that. Yeah, maybe it would help.
We should put some BJ and Bill pictures.
I, when I look through Instagram, a lot of pictures are AI now, and some of them are just experiments. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we're doing a beach party on Mars. Here's what it would look like, kind of a thing, and it's cool and fun and all that. And yet some of them are, like you said, obviously somebody took a real picture of themselves and said, okay, make me taller, thinner, gorgeouser, and all of that. And it works. It works just fine. So the problem is going to be, and it's not yet, give it 2 years. It's going to be, because I don't know about you, but if I look at a picture that's an AI picture of somebody, I can still kind of, sort of tell, at least I think I can, when I'm scrolling Instagram going, that's AI. That's real. That's AI. I think it's going to come to a point where you won't be able to tell. And that's where all literal hell breaks loose. Because if you can do that, now you can have Joe Biden or, the orange one saying anything, doing anything you want, anything. And any other politician and any other whatever, saying or doing anything that you want as the creator of the AI program. That's scary. That now you don't know who to believe.
Well, you don't know who to believe anymore anyway, but
I don't
make it even harder.
Anyway. I don't believe anything anymore anyway. Like you said, I think it's just easier to, screw it.
Which we're going to take a break here, but before we do take the break, I think it's the main reason why, I don't know, at least me, I used to watch a lot of news.
Mm-hmm.
Now I probably watch.
I was kind of in that business, remember?
Yeah. Now I have turned to sports as my, downtime, where I used to watch some news, like I'll get home, and now it's like, give me a movie, give me sports. It's hard to watch the news anymore. And I think it's hard to watch the news to stay positive and to stay, I don't know. It's just, I think the news has killed our psyches.
Wow, that's an interesting statement. And I think you're probably right. It has both divided us and dumbed us down. It doesn't make the news doesn't make you any smarter anymore, because you can find news, and I'm using the air quotes, you can find news to back up anything you believe.
Yep.
I believe the moon is made of green cheese because I saw it on the news. I saw a reporter talk about it on the news, and so it must be true. I believe Barack Obama was an alien lizard person or whatever, and and you can find it.
And the sad part about it is, the left believes anything the left says, and the right believes anything the right says, instead of, doing some investigating. I think probably 90% of the people in Washington these days are crooked.
Yes.
And I think they probably all,
right.
Probably all
their
should be in
job, as
jail.
I see it. What's that?
Then they probably all should be in jail for things they've done.
All of them.
But
100%.
But yet the people who really lean left are going, oh, those right people are doing all these things wrong. And all the right people are going, all these left people should be in jail. No, they all should be in jail. And with that, I think we should take a break.
Now it's BJ Odom doing a rant instead of Phil. Well, I'm glad you're contributing. But yes, and I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. If you're a politician, your job is not to get anything done. Your job is to keep people divided against themselves so you stay in power and keep making that money.
Well,
period.
I don't know if it's their job to keep us divided, but it is their job. And that's what really I have learned and I have come to realize over the last 10 years, well, 5 years, maybe 3 years, 5 to 3 years, that every party is out there to destroy the other party. They're not out there to help the other party make something happen that would benefit us all.
Exactly.
They're out there to destroy the other party, and no matter what means or ways they can do it, instead of working together to actually do something for the people.
And like you say, even if that means burning the whole thing down to make the other guy look bad.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they are doing. So yeah, I don't until we the people, boy, there's an interesting phrase, until we the people figure that out and hold these guys and girls accountable. And like you said, throw most of them in jail.
Well, that's not going to happen because the right's going to continue to, support the right. Mm-hmm. The left's going to support the left. And it's going to we're going to continue to go down this rabbit hole.
And I don't know if I've used this term before on this show, but I have heard it and I love it. I don't love it. It seems like what's going on. It looks like when they bring a skyscraper down, an old one, it's controlled demolition. It is controlled demolition of America, that they are bringing this thing down. And who's they? I don't know who the hell they are, but somebody somewhere has to be thinking to themselves, yeah, we're just gonna burn it all down.
Well, they haven't figured that out yet. But I mean, look at the American people. They vote for the two parties and they expect things to change. And I tell you what,
my guy's better than your guy. Really?
Yep.
My guy's better than yours. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, you're just basically wasting your time, people.
All right, boy, have we bummed ourselves out now? Wow.
Yeah. I told you we should have taken a break 5 minutes ago, but no.
No, you didn't. You said before we take a break, and then you went off on a rant. So, all right. So stand by, everybody. Just go get a cookie and some milk and make yourself feel better. Although check the ingredients, and we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. Both men with their hair on fire this afternoon, complaining. But if you like what you hear, and we hope that you do, please feel free to stop by wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, doesn't matter. Leave us that 5-star review. And swing on by the Facebook page. Just do a search for BJ and Bill Podcast. Like I always say, spell out the and, BJ and Bill Podcast. And you will find our page where you can post to your heart's content. And I'm going to find that Mel's Diner picture and post that if I can find the picture. It's around here somewhere.
All right.
I have a lot of stuff, so I'll find it. There you go.
This is really odd. A restaurant in New York has introduced a silent dining experience.
I think
where
I love
customers must communicate using charades and gestures instead of talking.
I think I love it.
Creating a unique and amusing atmosphere. What happens if you act out the wrong thing and you want a big old steak and they bring you a veggie platter?
That's an issue. Although I'm thinking I'm holding up the menu and pointing to the menu.
Oh, but maybe that's how you do it. But if
I would want to get that right.
Though,
what's that?
It says charades.
I get it. Yeah. Right in the middle of the beautiful dinner. How do you say, honey, I'm leaving you in charades? I got BJ to laugh. That's a good one.
You know what would be really, although we don't, I know there's some podcasts you can catch on YouTube and others. That's what if we were one of those, I would try to figure out something that maybe you wanted to eat, and you could try to figure out something I wanted to eat. See how bad we were.
At the charades
would probably mean we should never go to this restaurant.
probably not. Yeah.
Because I know I would never get,
The right thing.
Yeah.
So you've hit upon the important question, though. Like you said, can I order my food in some way that makes sure I don't get the thing I'm allergic to? Because that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, you're right. After that, I'm guessing there's not a lot of kids coming to this restaurant. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I wish it had a name or something.
Right. Now, although if you give the kid the phone, the kid's going to be on the phone and not talk to you anyway. So there might be that.
Yeah. No kid in a restaurant talks to anyone anymore.
See that? Yeah. See, that's what yours truly with no kids. That's not, I don't see, I'm not paying attention to that. It's not on my radar. So I hear you. Yeah, I get it.
Well, just think like, Friday we went to Disney Springs.
Right.
Because I had a coupon for a free pizza.
Ooh.
So we went and got our free pizza.
Uh-huh.
But you walk around that place, and everybody's shopping. And, if they're in a store, they might be looking at things. But if they're walking, on the sidewalk or, the walkways.
Right. Yeah. On the phone.
And you got to like dodge people that are going to hit you because they're not watching where they're going. They're, on their phone.
I mean, I don't, again, yet another reason why I'm glad I had a life before all this technology, because I actually like to look around and see where I'm at and experience the place rather than still going back to my Instagram feed or my Twitter feed or whatever, which will be there tomorrow when you go back to it. It will still be there, kids. You're not missing anything. Although I know you believe that you are. So I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't.
I kind of had a sad experience by not having a cell phone, at least this, and maybe you caught my post over the weekend, speaking of, checking people's post. But, I, like my daughter has a lot of pictures of us.
Right.
My son has a lot of pictures of us, that he's taken over the years that are still on his cell phone.
Right.
And of course, this last weekend was Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And, I posted a picture of my mother, one of the older pictures that I have. And I'm thinking, I really wish there would have been cell phones back when my mother was alive, because I don't have a whole lot of pictures of, although I will admit, when I moved one time and, I am bad, I have a phone and I like to keep pictures now.
Right.
But before that, I was never a picture person. I'm not one of those people like, took a bunch of pictures and then had a bunch of pictures. I wasn't that person. But now, my phone is pretty well full of pictures I've taken with my phone. But, before that, I like a lot of people have boxes and boxes or, booklets of pictures. I'm not that person. I don't have those. So I was sad.
My mother was that person. Yeah.
See, I was sad that I didn't have those pictures of my mother to post on Mother's Day.
Right.
Like a collage of pictures of me and
when
mom.
when my mother passed and I had the job of cleaning out the house, boxes and boxes and boxes of pictures, black and white stuff dating back to the World War II. And honestly, 90% of them, I didn't recognize who it was. I have no idea who this is. I'm sorry. You're going in the recycle bin. So, or the trash can or whatever. I did find a few, very few of my parents in their younger days. My father in his army uniform, that kind of thing. So I'm happy to have those, but you're right. It's not like, that was more of a formal thing back then. Let's take a picture. Oh, okay. Hang on. Everybody's got to look good, smile, dress up, do whatever they want, and then we take the picture and it's done. And hopefully it comes out when it comes back from the photo lab in a week. And now, like you said, with the gadgets, with the phones, with the iPads, with the whatever, just take as many as you want. Just take them all. There's no film. It doesn't cost you anymore. There's no, whatever. Now, half of them, I mean, is that an Apple phone or an Apple commercial or a Google commercial now that shows the guy getting ready to delete a whole bunch of pictures? And the picture starts singing to him. Probably seen it on the basketball games. They're using it a lot on the NBA. And so, as long as you have storage out there in the cloud, as they say, you're fine. You can take it, thousands of them. The problem then becomes finding the one you want. So,
Yeah. I remember a picture I took maybe a year or so ago.
Right.
And I go, I'd like to post that because it's my daughter's birthday or my son. Then you're going, where in the hell is the damn picture? I know which one I'm looking for. I just can't find it anymore.
Thousands and thousands.
Now, if anyone out there follows me on social media, every year around Thanksgiving, I post the same picture of my daughter.
Oh, really?
Yes, we are in Publix. I am holding a Big and Hungry Man or whatever they're called, TV dinner. And I'm holding it up, and my daughter's looking at it and making like a real frowny face. And probably the picture is 10 years or more, maybe even 15 years or more. And I go, I'm cooking this Thanksgiving.
Well, there you go. That's good. And every year,
every year I post that same picture.
I'm sure I must have seen it along the way somewhere, but now I'm going to have my eyes out for it. There you go.
Next Thanksgiving, be looking for it. I'll be holding a Hungry Man's Thanksgiving turkey dinner.
I'll never remember, but you'll remind us, I'm sure.
And my daughter looking down, going, "Oh my God, no, not that, Dad. No, don't do the cooking."
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm going to mention something, and I'm really sad about our podcast. We record on Mondays. We've said this many a times to people.
Yes.
It's Monday morning. It comes out, and people can, tune in on Wednesdays when it, as they say in the podcast world, it drops to the world on Wednesdays.
Correct.
But tonight, history will be made.
And what will that be?
And we're talking about, tonight being Monday.
Yes.
The Disney Channel will feature its first live sporting event.
Really? And what is that?
It is the Indiana Fever, and I forget who they're playing now, but it's the very first game of Caitlin Clark's WNBA. I mean, they played some preseason games.
Yes.
Tonight is the first game, regular season game, that Caitlin Clark will play as a WNBA player.
Right.
And it will appear on ESPN2. So you have a couple places, you'd be able to watch it.
Right.
ESPN2 and also the Disney Channel.
Wow. So Amazon, a couple of years ago, Amazon Prime and Amazon TV got into NFL, spent the huge money, and now Disney doing WNBA. Well, now, just to rewind, my favorite statistic or my favorite fun fact of the past week was that the Indiana Fever, you said? Fever. Right?
Yes.
Her team drew 13,000 people to a preseason game. And oh, by the way, that's the most people that team has ever drawn preseason or regular season in its history.
And I think if I remember the story right, during the regular season, they averaged close to 3,000 people.
Wow. And now they're going to average 15,000 people. Easy.
I wouldn't doubt the game, which, most people won't hear this. No one will hear this until Wednesday.
Right.
But on Monday night, the day we record this will probably be the WNBA's biggest, might even be a sellout.
Right.
Because of one girl. It's amazing. What she's
that's
done to
the power that's the power of a superstar in any, back in our day, if you weren't a big basketball fan or whatever, but oh my gosh, Michael Jordan is coming to play my Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm interested, or whatever, Tom Brady and the Patriots in his day coming to play your football team. Now I'm interested. And that's the power of the superstars in the business. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So good for her. Good for the sport. Good for the WNBA. Hopefully it brings up a little. Now, unfortunately, I think my Cleveland Cavaliers, speaking of which, are on against that on TNT tonight. So I'll have to switch back and forth. That's for sure. course, if the Cavs have another night like they had Saturday against Boston, it's not going to be worth. It's going to be it's not going to be worth watching anyway. It's going to be like a bar fight, one-sided bar fight. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I don't know. Hockey's got me hooked again.
Yes, you texted me over the weekend as the Panthers were winning. So yes, good for you.
And that thanks to ESPN. Because I'm listening after, I think it was game 2.
Right.
And I guess game 2, the score was 6-1 in the third period.
Right.
And so there was a lot of fist-flying, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And ESPN was talking how it was like one of the biggest games as far as penalty minutes and everything else and fights. Right. And I'm going, you hear all that and you go, I might have to watch the next game just to see what's going on here. Again, they, Florida took care of business. Now they're up 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, they did it again.
Yeah, they did.
Not as by many.
Right.
And if you're a Boston fan, you're probably not the happiest because one goal they think was, kind of controversial.
Oh, I didn't
probably
see that.
Shouldn't have been counted.
Okay.
So, but nonetheless, they're up 3-1. Boston's going to really have to go to town. And I was surprised, that they beat, Tampa the way they did. They handled Tampa without a problem.
That wasn't even.
I think Tampa's lost their. They did a 2-peat at least, didn't they? Almost.
Yeah, they lost a little mojo there. That's for sure. Yeah.
And of course, the Florida Everblades, which I thought were totally out of their playoffs, they end up winning the series against Orlando.
There you go.
So now they're going to be going. They're going to be going for the Southern. Or is it the Eastern? Eastern maybe. Maybe they've already won the Southern Conference, and now they're going for the Eastern Finals.
Awesome. So I looked it up. Unfortunately, yes, Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics at 7 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to have to switch back and forth between that and Caitlin Clark's game, but I'll do it. I'll do it, Doc. I'll bet you I'll be able to put it on double screen on like picture in picture. YouTube, I got YouTube TV as my TV. They've been getting better about that.
Yeah, YouTube TV, I hear has that picture on picture.
Yeah, I've never seen them do it with a WNBA game. Well, this will be the first, so it's going to be interesting.
Here's what I do.
Uh-oh.
I have the same thing.
Yes.
I'll watch something on the big screen, and then on my iPad, I watch the second thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that BJ Odom actually told me, the tech nerd, about using the iPad to watch the other channel while the big screen had the other one on. And I actually did that. So yes, hats off to BJ for his technical expertise. Well, all right, maybe not technical expertise, but you know what I'm saying.
And my dumb
imagination.
You can do this if you want to.
There you go. Good job. Thank you. So I have that option as well. There was actually, I don't know if you saw it. Did you watch any of the Denver Nuggets game, Denver Nugget and Minnesota Timberwolves game last night? At the end of the first half, Kevin Harlan was the announcer, and he's either retiring or something. They gave him a jersey with 35 on it for 35 years or something. He's finishing the season, but I think he's going to be retiring. At the end of the first half, I think it was Ant-Man who, wait a minute. All right. So who was it? Was it Thunder Mavs? Yeah. Takeaways. Now don't do that to me. I'm going to screw that up. Sorry. So anyway, I think it was Ant-Man, Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota, makes a literal half-court shot to end the half, swishes it through, and he's standing right next to the broadcast booth with Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller. And Harlan, the cameraman catches it because Harlan is leaping out of his seat to shout, "It's good!" And Ant-Man turns to him with the folded arms and the cool look, and the two of them are just staring at each other. And it is a picture for the ages. It is instant classic. I just rewound and played that back like a few times to go, that is the best picture ever.
Yeah, I missed the halftime, but I did see the ending.
Right. So it was. I'm going to have to look that up. I guarantee that it's on YouTube or whatever already this morning, because it was just a moment. It was one of those moments in sports, which is why I love sports, and I know you do too, because unexpected SHT happens. And it's the coolest thing when it does. And you're there watching it with the rest of the world. And it's like, that is so cool. So there you go. I feel better now. I feel better now after complaining about politics and AI.
Yeah.
Sports
I got another one. We're babysitting here this weekend. I have an extra dog.
Haven't seen him or heard him. So see.
They've both been pretty good, because Mama, actually, I don't know how much this day will cost me, but Mama and one of her friends woke up like early this morning.
Now, when you say Mama, is that your daughter?
No, that's my wife.
Your wife, okay.
I don't care. I don't care how much my daughter spends, because I really don't give her, birthday money maybe, things like that. But all of her money doesn't come out of my wallet these days.
I see.
She's on her own.
I see. So, however,
her mama that lives with
rewind.
me.
Yes.
Her mama went shopping with another mama, and I hope they don't mama it up too much.
Okay. Shot like just Publix or grocery shopping or something a little more exciting?
No, not exciting for me, but
no.
For them, it's probably like Home Goods or,
Right.
I don't know what else is out. I don't know what.
All of them.
Yeah, they like left at 9. They probably won't be home till 1 or 2.
Oh boy.
I'm just, you know what? I should open up my app on my phone to see, where the credit card, how many. Let's just see. Here, hold on a second. We are just going to play a little game here.
Oh boy.
I'm going to open up my
your banking app.
Yeah, the banking app, and see what stores they've been to thus far this morning.
I was going to say you could use the Find My Friends on your iPhone, but this is better information that shows the money.
She is either being very, very good.
Oh.
Or she had cash that I didn't, because she does have a little nest egg that I know about but don't know about.
Oh, really?
And I will say, sometimes she comes home with more stuff than I know she spent. And I go, how'd you go? I spent my money. Yeah, it's funny that most money is our money, but yet she has this little bank account that's her money.
Isn't that amazing how that works?
I know.
Yeah. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is don't
mine.
Touch it. Yeah. So no records of any purchase at this point.
And they've been gone. I guess they've only been gone about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Something should have happened by now.
So there probably have to be lunch along the way too, somewhere nice.
I don't know though, because the lady she went with, her and her husband usually, and some people say this is good. And I know people that do this, and the wife and I, as we've gotten older, have done it a little bit more, but they only really have like one big meal a day.
Yes.
And so if she's out, she doesn't really like my wife, if we're out and it's 1 or 2 o'clock.
Right.
Let's go have some. My stomach, I got to eat.
Right.
But if she's with her friends, she usually just it's kind of like bears and grins and
bears.
Yeah. And then when she gets home, I got to eat something. She's also the type of person though, that when she gets a headache if she doesn't eat every so often. I can go all day without eating. I don't like to, but I can.
I think today, and we started the show talking about yours truly with that. I think today is going to be a no eating day here in the Bill Stevens household. It's not a household; it's a cave. It's a man cave. But yes, I don't think there's going to be any eating here today. So just to try and get my tummy down, to calm down, and all that. So yeah, that's all right. It's okay. So good. I'm glad that you're keeping an eye on. Does she doesn't have her own credit cards?
No.
Okay.
But and she had some money put into it when her parents died, and she had some money put into it one other time when she got a big check for something. And so she has this little account that she had when she was in school
Right.
because they use the credit union or whatever.
Right.
So she has an account there. And once in a while, when she's trying to, get something, she'll like slide it through there. So maybe
without telling hubby about it.
Yeah. So maybe she's sliding it through there today.
Oh,
because usually by now she should have at least, or else maybe, well, I know her friend wanted to go somewhere. So maybe the store her friend really wanted to go to, and they went there first.
Okay.
My wife really wasn't interested in, but then they'll go to a couple other stores and that'll probably pique my wife's interest. You check back in with me. There'll be at least one or two expenditures.
I will. I'll text you. I'll text you tonight when we're watching Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, and I'll like, all right, what was the damage for the day?
And maybe she's saving up for a really big purchase.
Oh.
She goes, well, if I don't make a lot of little ones, I just make one big one. Maybe I won't get as much trouble.
All shows up on the credit statement, same as the the small ones. So that's all right. All right. Well, good luck with that, Mr. Odom. Hopefully things work out, not to your, financial deficit or whatever the word is there.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like every year we either go to the mountains,
right,
or we go to Indiana to see, kinfolk.
Right.
That's our summer vacation.
Okay.
So I told her, I go, this year, it's you. You decide where we go for a little summer vacation for a week or so.
Wow.
She goes, I think we should just stay home because you're always complaining I spend too much money. Well, yeah, because I'm going to get to spend some money on a vacation. Women. Can't live with them, can't live without them.
You got that right. All right, sorry. Yeah. The opinions expressed on the following program are those of the host and co-host and do not necessarily reflect their spouse or friends around them. There you go. All right. All right, Mr. Odom, you have yourself a good week. You're going back to the doctor tomorrow?
No, not till they have 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, so we will look forward
to. So tomorrow will be a week.
We'll look forward to your progress report there.
Yeah, the black and blue should be gone in another week, and then they'll cut again and form more black and blue marks.
You're probably already the subject of several books being written by several medical staffs somewhere.
Somebody actually said that on Facebook the other day. How many medical books are you in? I have not a clue at this point.
Yeah.
I do know that I'm in one.
Right.
For my surgery when I was 14 years old. Yep, that one went in the medical books.
There you go.
But I don't know about the rest.
Search for that online, or are you just patient A or something like that?
I don't know. I might just be patient A.
Yeah. All right.
So if there's ever a trial, and they say patient A, you'll go, oh my God, that must be me.
All right, patient A, you have yourself a good week. Everybody else out there as well, stay safe. Eat right. Get some exercise, all those good advice things, and we'll see you next week. Up to then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya!